Brown v. Board of Education promised to put an end to segregation in public education as early as 1954, but as all deliberate speed proved neither deliberate enough nor fast enough to integrate Southern schools, and de facto segregation threatened the possibility of unified districts in the North, the Supreme Court reinforced their integrationist stance in Griffin v. County School Board, stating that segregation be ended quickly and effectively. For decades, desegregation became a reality, but the residual effect of several of SCOTUS's decisions in the 1970s, combined with conservative efforts in the 1990s to weaken desegregation orders on schools, has plunged modern school districts into an era of renewed segregation. In 1988, 43.5% of blacks attended majority-white schools, yet in 1996, this number declined to 32.7%. This disturbing phenomenon is based on the conservative ideology of the 1970s Supreme Court. In Milliken v. Bradley, the chiefly Nixon-appointed court ruled that inter-district remedies to segregation, such as busing minority students across district lines, can only take place if inter-district segregation is proved. Because this is so difficult to prove, Milliken has effectively ended lower courts' ability to formulate desegregation orders. This decision, in tandem with Keyes v. School District No. 1, which ruled that proof of segregation must include discriminatory intent rather than impact, render solutions to white flight effects on unequal education impossible. The segregationist decisions of the 1970s were compounded by San Antonio v. Rodriguez. Here, the court decided that education is not a fundamental right, and, therefore, discrimination in education does not require the strict scrutiny of other discriminatory practices. Although the conservative-motivated decisions of the 1970s laid the foundation of resegregation in education, the equally conservative court in the 1990s heralded the end of desegregation efforts. The effective Board v. Dow, for example, allowed the end of desegregation orders in schools even if their conclusion will result in resegregation. In Freeman v. Pitts, the court declared that if part of a desegregation order has been met, then that part is no longer in need of being enforced. These decisions, compounded with a number of others, severely weakened the authority and efficacy of desegregation orders. The fault of resegregation in American school systems falls upon the Supreme Court of the 1970s and 1990s. In these decades, SCOTUS issued a number of decisions that failed to limit natural demographic events. As housing segregation increased, for example, SCOTUS refused to allow district solutions that overcome the tide of white flight without meeting an unreasonable burden of proof. Cases of the 1990s seized upon the precedent set in the 1970s. The result is the accelerating segregation present in modern-day American schools. The burden to reaffirm the values of the civil rights movement rests upon the wills of today's policymakers, its judges, and, most importantly, its citizens.